It's amazing.
I told my wife, I said, you know, I'm putting this case together, and I had some great help in my team and your team. I had Margaret, I had Jennifer working with the ship. I had Red, Red is a lifesaver. She really is. She helped with the food, she helped with prep, she helped with the planning.
Yep.
I mean, she's been there. She works days, and here I'm calling her at 12:30 at night. Red, I came across a problem. I know I'm waking you up, and she's there.
Yep.
Of course, she says, you know, I'm going to kick your butt in the morning. Those ain't the words she used, but I'm going to kick your butt in the morning for this. But for now, let's take care of the issue. So, you know, it's been a great asset. Gary's been there. I put a lot of work into it. These people put a lot of work into it. And I remember sitting there talking to my wife. I said, you know what? I can't even begin to count how many hours I've been doing this now for this ship alone. And I'm going, and I'm only really worried about the ship. I go, he's doing a show too. He's planning out how he's doing it, what he's talking about, how he's going to do it, how he's going to wire it up and hook it up. Plus, Ian has been a major asset for planning every aspect of this. You and I, we've talked from what, 12 at night till 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
How many times have you heard me say, well, dude, my battery's about to go dead? You know?
As a matter of fact, we've talked so much about this ship. A joke came out a ways back. Red was telling me. My son came in from Michigan, and I wanted to spend some time with him. I haven't seen him in quite a while, and I wanted to spend as much time with him as I could. My son's 18 years old. He's moving away from home. He's getting ready to start his own life. And you know how it is with 18-year-olds. They're coming into their own. And I came down and I spent a lot of time with them. And I get a call from Red. Paul, you got to call Ian. What do you mean? You got to tell him to breathe. He hasn't heard from you and he don't know what's going on.
It's been like 5 days, and I'm like, I'm like, are we still doing this thing? I mean, I didn't know what the hell was going on.
And it became a joke because, like, if Ian didn't hear from me within a day, it'd be like, are you mad at me or something?
I thought you were pissed. I didn't know. I was like, oh, boy, I did something.
But, you know, this ship, literally thousands of hours.
Yeah.
You know, I was putting in 60, 70 hours a week working with your group, working with Team Phenomenon, working with Spy, working with Red,
and
working with
S-Spirits.
my own team.
I told him that S-Spirits is here as well.
S-Spirits, yeah. I'm working with Nancy and her group, and then working with the ship, and then taking care. You know what? Everyone has issues. I'm going on 40 years old, and at times I honestly felt like a school teacher. You know, I hate saying it, but everyone has issues. There's as much as we try to be adults, even I guarantee in someone's eye, did not look like an adult here and there because of issues. And, you know, I'm working on setting this ship up. I'm working on technical issues with you. And then personal issues going on. Thousands of hours a week between our groups is not an unbelievable thing when you figure everything we've done. I mean, how many issues have you personally took care of and then said, hey, Paul, you know, I had this, and I took care of that as well. It's one of those things when you're a group leader, a team leader, a founder, that you just have no choice but to handle, as well as your investigations. And this has been an unbelievable event.
Right. We should mention, though, a lot of times when you have this many people working together, it's very commonplace to find people not getting along, to find people that are getting petty about things, even though the world's revolving around them. It happens. We all get caught up in our own little problems, and sometimes on these investigations you'll get investigators with one group that don't like working with investigators of other groups, or you'll get certain people that don't like other people, or people that are pissed at people. I have to tell you, unless I don't know something, it's been excellent today. All 5 teams have worked together phenomenally. I've received very few complaints, and the complaints I've received had nothing to do with working with each other. It was just
the weather
and the wires and the way we got to do this and the heat, and everybody's just doing a great job as far as working together. And I've done a big one kind of like this. It wasn't quite as big as this, obviously, but we did one in Sarasota a while back. And unlike this one, when we did that one, we had interpersonal problems. We had people getting upset and people, showing their butt, if you will. And so it's nice on this one that we've got 5 teams, and they're all acting as professional as you can imagine. I mean, just wonderfully professional. I will admit some of the newer people were, unclear on exactly what to do next and things like that. But for the most part, things have gone very smoothly today. If it was not for the problems with the internet and the problems with a couple of the cameras and the aft command and little things like that, we would have been done hours early, like we said.
Oh, yeah.
It just came down to when you have to stop everything and work on the internet for 3.5 hours. That just ruins it.
But you know what? You mentioned something. You mentioned about the new people, how, it was with them where they didn't really know what they were doing. But, for the most part today, I was very impressed. Yeah, we had to light a fire underneath a couple of them to get them going. When we're sitting there, we need someone to do this, we need someone to do that. But, when it came down to it, even the new people that weren't sure what to do, once they started going, they were like, well, what can I do? How do you want me to do it? And they really got into it. I mean, I was seeing people running up and down the ship asking, what do I do next? How do I do this? What can I do? And the closer we got to the deadline, a lot of people just, when they're new, they kind of give up. And I expected at times I'd look outside and I'd see half our crew sitting out there. And that wasn't the case. When we were down to the last few minutes, instead of being outside just giving up, these people were running through the halls, getting these wires, running on the radios. What do you need? Stay up there. I'll get it. And, in this day and age, it's kind of rare. Because truthfully, how many businesses do you go to and say, I need this and this and this, and if it ain't their job, they're going to tell you, screw you. These people that work with us today, the ship, the police officers that were out there, our new members, everything we've asked within reason, they have gone out of their way to do it. And I'm really impressed. I mean,
the ship's crew here has been very accommodating today. Have worked with us every step of the way. Not a single thing I could say. It was just a great day.
And I'll be honest with you, previous investigations that my group's had, I'm sure you've had the same thing. We've gone in and it'd be like, they promised the world. You come in here and do your thing and show if there's something here or if there's not. Get it out on the table and get it over with. You know what I mean? Give us fact and straight, whatever the case is. And you get in there and it's, oh, you can't go here, you can't go there, you can't do this, you can't do that. This ship has literally allowed us into places that they didn't have to. They've gone and given us their internet, undo their stuff, hook up our stuff, make sure it works without any question.
We should qualify that we made agreement with them early on that they're down deep in the holds and the bottom 2 floors of the engine room, things like that, were going to be off limits. That's Coast Guard rules.
Right.
The engine room's Coast Guard rules. The holds are dangerous. I mean, they're 8-story deep holes that go down through the ship, and they've got layers of trusses that are all laid into place so that the decks are complete. And it's very dangerous down between these decks through there. And so they've given us access to the upper levels of all the holds. But the actual bowels down underneath the waterline, way down in the very, very bottoms of the holds, we're not going down there. Even their workers don't go down there. It's dangerous down there. So, but all of the areas that we're not going in, we stipulated that ahead of time. We were a little concerned about how much access we were going to get. We got here today and got pretty much all the access we wanted.
Actually, we got more than I expected. I mean,
but we did, it was good.
The Coast Guard, they sit there, and Coast Guard rules is this is a functioning ship. It still goes out on these cruises.
Yeah, they actually have locks on the steering wheel and on the control mechanisms to prevent someone from trying to do something with it. Right. Now,
The Coast Guard rules